guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to raidlore stories. Today's lore stories will be for Vlad the Nightborn. He was a Halloween champ in the past, and he did have a lore story initially, but it looks like Raid changed his lore story, so let's check it out. Vlad grew up in a Sacred Order orphanage, a harsh and uncompromising existence, and it was only through his kinship with a fellow orphan, the brave and bold Constantine, that Vlad endured. Together, they later became knights of the Order and saw each other as brothers. Vlad fell shortly of knightly ideals. Besides indulging in youthful practices that the prenuptial order frowned upon, he increasingly believed that the order was hypocritical, even corrupt. Vlad's struggles were made worse by the fact that Constantine reveled in the order's uncompromising mindset. The two drifted apart. Matters came to a head when Vlad discovered a senior member of the order had been pocketing donations supposed to be used for the relief of the poor. Vlad's accusations fell on deaf ears, and even Constantine refused to believe him, claiming a high-ranking member of the order would never stoop so low. Vlad decided that he could endure this hypocrisy no more, renouncing his knighthood. Vlad served as a mercenary for years, until entering the employ of one Count Alunkar, who ruled over the Karak fiefdom of Toravia. Alunkar was old, and his estates were falling into despair. He sought a family heirloom, a sword said to be able to grant immortality. While doubting such a weapon exists, Vlad agreed to accompany the Count in exchange for his coin. An ancient map discovered in Alunkar's castle vault led them to a tomb high in the neighboring Red Spike Mountains. To Vlad's shock, they found a wicked-looking blade. Alunkar took up the sword and declared his quest a success. He returned to his castle with Vlad, and it soon seemed he had shrugged off the worst of the age and exhaustion afflicting him. Alunkar offered to make Vlad his chief retainer with a handsome payment for each year of service. Vlad was deeply intrigued by the sword. It rarely left Alunkar's grasp, and nor was it long before Vlad noticed the Count had new, unusual habits. He became increasingly nocturnal and withdrawn, refusing to eat or meet with other members of the Karak nobility. Rumors also spread that servants in the castle were disappearing. Vlad's order-trained suspicions were aroused. Vlad observed the Count's nighttime movements and eventually caught him in the act of attacking a cook. Alunkar had been infected by the Crimson Hunger, the vampiric curse of Siroth. In his feeding frenzy, the Count had discarded his sword, and when Vlad confronted him, the vampire swiped across the warrior's weapon with monstrous speed and strength. In desperation, Vlad snatched up the Count's blade and decapitated him in the fight that followed. Unbeknownst to Vlad, the hilt of the sword contained slender, poisoned needles that pricked his skin as he grasped it. He was overcome by agony, and while he tried to fight it, he received a vision of Siroth. The god of shadows offered to save Vlad from imminent death in exchange for a 50 via of the Crimson Hunger. Seeing no other choice, and believing he could perhaps fight the dark urges of vampirism, he agreed. Unfortunately, he was not the only one who had noticed the darkness that had fallen into Rovia in the previous months. Days later, a Sacred Order Inquisitor came to the province, guarded by none other than Vlad's childhood brother, Constantine. He demanded that Vlad explain what had become of Alunkar, and when he refused, Constantine ordered him to surrender his sword. Vlad realized that as soon as Constantine grasped the sword, he too would suffer from its curse. Wishing to save his old friend from such a fate, but also not daring to admit that he himself now bore a link to Siroth, Vlad refused. The argument escalated, with the Inquisitor accompanying Constantine, claiming that Vlad had been corrupted and had murdered Alunkar. His righteous anger stoked, Constantine drew his sword, the fiery light of Lamea blazing across it. The friends clashed. Old disputes reignited with fierce passion. They battled relentlessly, Constantine's sword, blessed by the Sacred Order, ringing again and again off Vlad's cursed blade. Neither showed restraint as they put every ounce of strength and skill into slaying their opponent. The duel taken them through the castle's great halls, along corridors, and up the stairs of the keep. Ultimately, Constantine prevailed, cutting down Vlad in the North Tower, leaving him for dead. He did not know of Vlad's pact with Siroth, and the vampire rose the next night. He found the castle burned, its inhabitants as well as those in the nearby village slaughtered by the Inquisitor, purged just for their unwitting association with him. A bitter vengefulness rose up in Vlad, convincing him he had made the right choice in swearing to Siroth. The next time he met Constantine, he would show his former brother what it truly meant to battle a creature of the night. Wow, guys. Okay, I have to say, I thought this story was pretty well done. In the original story of Vlad and Constantine actually are brothers that get separated at birth and kind of find each other a little bit later on. So I like what they did. They've redone Vlad's story a couple times. This one I thought was pretty good. I will also be reading Constantine's lore story and having it on this channel as well. So guys, drop me a comment down below what you think for this newer story for Vlad, and thank you so much for watching.